This story begins with a man reflecting on how every human being carries a universe within them. He feels alone and adrift, though he then wonders if maybe it's just him. The man, known as Mr. K, arrives at a hotel and asks for a single room, confirming he is alone. From the very first moment, he notices that the receptionist's dog doesn't seem happy about his presence. He has an important appointment the next morning, so he shows the woman the address of a cafe that has live performances and asks if she knows it, but she tells him they must handle one thing at a time. The receptionist guides him to his room, explaining the rules of the establishment. She informs him that the sheets are only changed on Mondays and Thursdays. Any other day will cost extra. There is no television either, though one can be brought to him for an extra charge. Mr. K replies that it won't be necessary, as he only plans to stay for one night. The woman continues with a long list of prohibitions. No animals, no prostitutes, no disturbances, no drunkenness, no cigarettes, no music, and no jumping, running, or hitting the walls. She insists it is a respectable establishment. Finally, she points out the bathroom and the shower, tells him not to cause any trouble, and bids him good night. Once settled, Mr. K finds himself in a strange situation. He meets two elderly women, Ruth and Sarah. Ruth starts discussing profound topics, asking him if he fears death, assuring him it doesn't hurt and that it shouldn't be confused with the act of dying, as they are not the same thing at all. Ruth notices Mr. K looks pale. After offering him some coffee, which he finds horrible, she points to a portrait and mentions that the person in it was decapitated during the French Revolution. The women ask him what he is, and he admits he's a magician. He explains that he knows a few tricks, nothing special, but they help him get by when the audience is drunk. They are amazed and ask him to show them a trick, asking if he can cut people in half. Mr. K, uncomfortable, simply says he has to go. He tries to find an exit and looks at a map on the wall, but the sisters tell him they can't be of any more help. They explain they haven't left the hotel in many years because their legs can't handle the stairs anymore. And besides, they have enough with what's already inside one of them. Sarah suggests he could try the oracle, but Ruth immediately shushes her, saying not to start with that and that those things don't exist. He asks if they mean a psychic, but Ruth insists it's all nonsense and foolishness. Mr. K continues to wander the hallways, shouting to see if anyone is there. Eventually, he stumbles upon a group of people led by a woman named Gabby, who greets him saying he's just in time and that they have a new guest. He tries to explain that he's looking for some children he thinks passed through here. Gabby introduces him to her little entourage, joking that they are leeches who bleed her dry. She tells him to relax, that the children are safe, and orders someone to get the man some food because he looks hungry. Mr. K refuses the food, insisting he needs to find his things because he is running late. Gabby calls someone named Aurora and asks her to send for the man's children, but he quickly corrects her, clarifying they are not his kids. While he waits, a man from the group asks Mr. K if he's a journalist, to which he replies no. The man then praises Gabby, mentioning that he's writing her biography and that the material is fascinating, even commenting on a rumor that she's half gypsy, which might explain her artistic instinct, though he admits it's possible she made it up herself. Mr. K says again that he really should be going, but Gabby starts a speech. She claims to be an artist, but says that much of what she does isn't related to art. She tells him to look around, that the small, unimportant things are the most essential, and that the trick is recognizing what matters. She declares herself a perfectionist. He notices they are packing and asks if they are moving, but Gabby says they are continuing on and planning the escape. He asks if they are expecting trouble, but the biographer corrects him, saying it's not an escape, but the tour of the century, and that running is no use. Gabby offers him some rabbit and asks him to stay. Shortly after, Gabby invites him to go with them. He again insists that he needs his things. Suddenly, the biographer tells him they must leave quickly because Gabby, the maestra, is going to take a bath. Mr. K asks what will happen to his things, and they tell him he'll have to come back for them later. The group drags him through the hallways in a chaotic march, and he laments having missed his appointment. He ends up in a kitchen, where a stout woman named Melinda asks him where his apron is and orders him to do something. He tries to explain that he doesn't work there, but she ignores him, tells him he has to stay, and calls him an idiot for being late. A young cook, Anton, approaches him and tells him not to blame the others for being jealous. He explains that most people work there for years to get a job like the one he landed in minutes. Mr. K insists again that he isn't looking for a job. Anton tells him it's obvious that Melinda, the chef's daughter, has her eye on him. Mr. K seems to accept this, and Anton says that just proves his point, since she always reacts this way when she likes someone and is clearly smitten with him. Mr. K says he really should go, but Anton asks why, telling him it's a good place and that he's doing well. Anton then talks about his own aspirations. He's hoping for a promotion to spooner, then sorter, then mixer. And if he works hard, maybe he'll make whisk by the end of next year. Mr. K just repeats that he is only passing through. Melinda approaches and reminds him he has the first shift tomorrow and not to be late. The next morning, Anton wakes him abruptly, telling him to hurry up or they'll be late. Mr. K gets up and realizes he isn't wearing his suit, asking indignantly whose clothes these are. He says it's outrageous and that he will file a complaint at the front desk about his luggage and now his clothes. Anton, however, asks him how he thinks he lost his clothes and proceeds to steal pants from another sleeping coworker. On the way to the kitchen, Mr. K hears a noise in the pipes like a leak. Anton tells him not to worry. Mr. K, fed up, says he has to go. In the kitchen, the head chef stops him to give him a lecture. He holds up an egg and asks him what it is. The chef explains that few understand the meaning and potential of the egg, that it is underestimated. He talks about the perfect shell that protects the potential within, which needs a visionary to bring it out. He claims it took him 35 years to acquire his skills, 35 years of hard work, dedication, and veneration. He tells Mr. K that he likes him, that he has potential, and that he noticed it immediately. Later, Anton sees Mr. K with books about the philosophy of eggs and asks what they are. Mr. K explains that the chef wants him to read about eggs. Anton, surprised, asks if the chef gave them to him, and Mr. K confirms that the chef likes him. Suddenly, a loud noise rings out, and Mr. K asks if anyone else heard it. He goes to investigate and arrives at a bathroom. He knocks, but someone tells him it's occupied and to go away. Just then, hands break through the door from the inside. A voice asks him if he is the liberator and if what they say is true. Mr. K, terrified, says he doesn't know what they're talking about. The voice tells him there isn't much time. Mr. K insists they have confused him with someone else, that he is just passing through, that he is nobody. Next morning, Anton finds Mr. K in the bathroom and pulls him out. As they leave, Mr. K, still shaken, sees graffiti on the wall that says, Liberator. He asks Anton what it means, but Anton brushes it off, saying he shouldn't take what those filthy promestas write seriously, and that he doesn't even know what it means. Back in the kitchen, Mr. K asks Anton how long he has been working there. Anton replies, 7 years. K inquires how often he has left in that time, and Anton vaguely admits that maybe a couple of times, but he doesn't remember well, justifying that there's no time for such things if one takes the job seriously. Then Mr. K asks him directly if he knows where the exit is. Anton falls silent, unable to answer, which leads K to realize that Anton has never left. Anton defensively asks what that matters and tells him he should be thinking about more important things, like the egg fermentation he's been reading about. Fed up with the situation, Mr. K decides to quit. He goes to find the head chef and firmly tells him he is leaving. He asks him to call the front desk and speak to the manager. The chef, however, interrupts him and says he understands his impatience, calling it the impatience of youth. He explains that a genuine talent like his must be developed slowly, like wine, without rushing it. Mr. K, frustrated, asks him what game they are playing and what they want from him, insisting that he isn't special or the person they are looking for. The chef assures him that he is special and that he saw it immediately. K begs him to show him the exit. Instead, the chef tells him that a talent like his needs challenges and that he has decided to promote him to the whisk department. Mr. K, desperate, asks if that's what he wants and pleads with him. The chef gets on his knees and begs him not to leave, telling him he is crushing an old man's dreams and hopes. He asks him to be patient, to have faith, and that all his hopes are pinned on him. Later, Anton, feeling betrayed, confronts Mr. K. He asks if he thinks he's stupid and accuses him of planning the whole thing to get ahead, stepping on everyone else. Mr. K tries to defend himself, saying he doesn't want the bomb and that the chef basically handed it to him. He even offers to recommend Anton to the chef, but Anton rejects the handout. Back in his room, Mr. K ties a rope tightly from wall to wall, as if to test the theory. The next morning, he finds the rope slack. He runs to find Anton and explains that the rope was taut the night before and is now slack, asking him if he understands what that means. He tells Anton that he was right. Anton, however, tells him he's really weird in the mornings and that he doesn't have time for his games. Mr. K drags him to the kitchen where chaos reigns. The building is shrinking. K tries to talk to the chef, but he doesn't know the cause of the problem. Mr. K proposes a plan. Divide the staff into two groups, one to find the cause and the other to find the exit and evacuate the guests. The chef is scandalized by the idea of evacuating, reminding him that it's 3 p.m., they are behind schedule, and the diners are demanding their breakfast. Mr. K insists that breakfast isn't as important as people's lives and that dead people can't eat breakfast. The chef accuses him of threatening him and of wanting to take over the kitchen. K tries to explain that he isn't questioning his authority, but the chef won't listen, seeing he can't convince him. Mr. K addresses the other cooks. He shouts that the hotel is shrinking and he has proof. He makes them notice that the measurements are wrong, that they are bumping into things and tripping, and that together they'll have a chance. The chef, furious, yells at him to get back to his station and not to listen to him. Accusing K of misleading them, Mr. K appeals to the cooks, asking them if their lives are worthless. The chef, fed up, fires him and orders him thrown out of his kitchen. As he is forcibly removed, Mr. K shouts that they are making a mistake. Fired, he goes up to the room of the sisters, Ruth and Sarah. He finds them moving their furniture. They greet him cheerfully and thank him for his help. Apparently, he helps them move something. He asks if they are moving, but they deny it, explaining that they are just rearranging the furniture because it doesn't fit in the room anymore. They recognize him as the young man who was looking for the front desk and ask if he found it. He says no. Sarah comments that it's strange, and Ruth tells her not to start again with her nonsense about some divine presence in the hotel. Mr. K continues on his way. He sees the receptionist dog and greets it. Desperate, he talks to the dog, asking where the exit is and begging it to show him. He ends up calling it a stupid dog. Eventually, he is confronted by a man who asks him what he wants and who he is. In another hallway, someone writes the word liberator on the wall. K, exhausted, shouts at them that he didn't write that and that he is not the liberator. He decides to take matters into his own hands. He begins marking all the hallways with chalk, explaining to a group of followers who seem to have formed around him that it's important to do so or they will just walk in circles endlessly. He admits it's a slow process, but it's their only chance. In his makeshift room, now full of people, he sets rules. He tells them that if they are going to stay, they must bring their own food rations and not touch his things. Someone challenges him, asking if they should starve while he eats. But Kay clarifies that they ate his food and there is nothing left. Anton reappears. He tells Mr. K that he can still come back to the kitchen. He says the chef hasn't been the same since he left. He invites him back, but gives him one condition. He must not say anything crazy, and they will pretend nothing happened. And Mr. K, incredulous, asks him to look around. But Anton says he doesn't know what he's talking about. Kay accuses him of being crazy, just like everyone else, saying that nobody cares what is happening. Anton challenges him, asking if he thinks he knows the truth and why his truth is any better than his own. This situation causes Mr. K to return to his room, but he finds he can't get in because the sleeping guests are blocking the door from the inside. With no other choice, he collapses in the hallway to sleep. While he sleeps, the hotel itself reacts strangely, covering him with wallpaper peeling from the wall, as if it were tucking him in. The next morning, he is awakened by the sound of a telephone. He runs to the room, hoping to answer it, thinking it might be his last chance to escape. However, one of the guests already inside grabs the phone first. The guest speaks with what seems to be the manager, tells her it must be a mistake, and hangs up. Mr. K, furious, screams at the man, calling him an idiot. This outburst of fury causes the other guests to turn against him. They accuse him of giving them false hope and disturbing the peace. They reproach him, saying that before his arrival, everyone lived peacefully in this absurd world without needing to look for meaning. One of them even asks if he calls himself the Liberator. Mr. K, desperate, replies that he didn't give himself any name and that he shouldn't even be there. While trying to regain his composure in the hallway, he passes a rabbit and then watches a group of people cleaning the walls. It is then that he discovers his own group of followers is sabotaging his plan. They are erasing the chalk marks he had meticulously left to map the hotel. Realizing the betrayal, Mr. K loses control. He grabs a broom and chases all the occupants out of his room, calling them parasites and saboteurs. As he gathers the pieces of his map, which was torn apart in the chaos, objects begin to fly through the window. The guests in the room across the hall, now furious with him, are throwing all of his belongings out. Back on his mattress, he looks up at the ceiling and sees the light fixture begin to unscrew itself. He manages to move just in time before the lamp crashes to the floor. Through the hole left in the ceiling, the sisters Ruth and Sarah appear, looking down at him from above. As if nothing is happening, they offer him coffee and a chat. He ignores them, saying that for every minute he wastes, they erase more of his work. Determined to find an exit once and for all, he goes back into the hallway, but a furious mob is waiting for him. Anton is among them. The crowd begins to chase him through the corridors. Mr. K manages to hide in the sisters' room. From there, he listens to the mob and laments, saying he will never get out of here, and that even if he knew the way, they would never let him reach the lobby. The sisters, while eating cake, give him enigmatic advice. They tell him it's naive to assume that just because he entered through the lobby, he can also leave that way. They insinuate that the entrance is not always the exit, and vice versa. Ironic at first, wonders what they're talking about, but the idea settles in his mind. He begins to think that maybe he missed something. He starts to frantically search the room, opening drawers and cabinets, looking for that alternative exit. Upon moving a large wardrobe, he discovers something that chills him to the bone. An organic tunnel, like the inside of a giant intestine, pulsating in the wall. He asks the sisters if this is what they meant, if this is the exit. They respond, maybe. They warn him that it looks dangerous, that they've never seen it before, and that they aren't going in there. They tell him they are very comfortable where they are, that they can't stay in that place, but that they have coffee and everything they need. Mr. K, having no other choice, decides to enter. He crawls through the viscous tunnel and reaches a kind of membrane. Behind it, he can see something beating, like an enormous heart. Just then, the furious mob breaks down the room's door. They see the tunnel, and instead of feeling fear, they enter a kind of collective trance. They believe it is the dwelling of the oracle. The guests throw themselves into the tunnel without thinking, trampling the living flesh of the place. Their footsteps cause visible pain to the oracle. The receptionist appears in the midst of the chaos and tries to stop them, screaming for them to stop because they are killing it. Mr. K, facing the creature, asks it if it also wants to be free. In a final act, K pushes the oracle, severing the cord that tied it to the hotel. Everything goes dark. The illusionist finds himself floating in the void. Suddenly, an infant oracle, a strange creature with tentacles, approaches him. The creature gently wraps him in its tentacles and begins to pull him toward a bright light. As he floats, Mr. K reflects that everything seemed very important at the time. But now he doesn't know why he thinks of minuscule particles coming together and seeking comfort. And that is how the movie ends.